Orthodox Moor. What a great name. What are your thoughts of the Quranists at the park and Quranism in general? I don't think it's authentic Islam in the classical sense. So my view is that the thing that we call the Quran, Muhammad gave these revelations, and they were written down and people tried to remember them. And those revelations were bigger and greater in number than the corpus that we now find in this Quran. So in other words, parts of the Quran were lost and don't exist, you know, like that verse that was eaten by the sheep, or the bits that Muslims themselves testified to in the hadiths of being lost. If we take the hadith literature seriously, classical Islam, there was this thing called proto-Islam that was based around a warlord that we'll call Muhammad, though that actually could just be a title as opposed to a name. So there was this warlord that, for the want of another name, we're going to call Muhammad. And this warlord gave revelations that Muslims, the early Muslim community, treat as real. And he formed a community, and he formed it around some basic practices. But it wasn't clear even to the earliest Muslims which of those practices were essential or not. So when Muhammad died, you have the wars about zakat, because lots of Muslims didn't see that as being something that had to continue beyond Muhammad's lifetime. And so in this conflict, you start to see the development of classical Islam. And as Islam goes through history and it fights amongst itself and it comes into conflict with itself, as well as coming into conflict with its opponents, particularly the Byzantine and Zoroastrian empires, Muslims are forced to do some reflection work, and they're forced to think about, you know, what do we think about this? What do we do about this? And they end up having to link this back to Muhammad, and so they start to create hadiths to do that. The perfect example being Rajam, the stoning, which is a verse not found in the Quran. Stoning for adultery, it's not found in the Quran. The Quranic punishment is lashing for adultery. But Muslims had conquered a land in which stoning adulterers was very popular, and lots of those people were becoming Muslim, and so they take that opinion into Islam, and then Muslims have to somehow reconcile the fact that we've got this popular punishment that everyone likes to do and thinks is just, but we can't find it in the Quran. So they invent a hadith that explains why it's not in the Quran, but why Muslims can do it. And Islam goes through and it kind of crystallizes into what we understand. And I think the real inheritors of that classical Islam is Sunni Islam as opposed to Shia Islam. I think that Shia Islam is just the Persians sticking two fingers up at the Arabs and saying, right, we'll have your religion, but we're going to break it and make it our own. And then the Quranists emerge very recently in Islamic history, and they recognize the historical development of Islam. They recognize the spurious nature of hadiths. They recognize that hadiths are incredibly problematic, and they attempt to reform Islam by dumping this hugely problematic system that's connected to core traditional Islam of the hadiths, bearing in mind that Muslims themselves can't agree which hadiths to use. I mean, Shias and Sunni use different hadiths. There's no agreement amongst them which ones they use. And obviously, depending on which set of hadiths you use, you're going to interpret the Quran very differently. And as a way of getting around that very problematic situation, the Quranists go, well, let's just use the Quran, which intellectually is a good move. But from a historical point of view, it is a complete abrogation of what classical Islam is. And Dr. Lycona has arrived. So I just want to say to Orthodox Moor, who I see in the chat, I would like to arrange a debate with you. I know that you're a Quran-only Muslim and that you reject the hadiths. So I would like to talk to you about both of those things, because I think that as a Quran-only Muslim, brother, you're still in danger your soul is still in danger, it's still in jeopardy. And whilst a Quran only version of Islam is definitely better than a Hadith Quran version of Islam, it's still not great. I mean, the Quran intrinsically teaches injustice. So it doesn't need the Hadiths. It's just that the Hadiths double down and make it worse. And so I would like to challenge Orthodox Moor at some point to a debate, if he is happy to.
Peace, peace, peace. What it is, it's your brother Tyvon Swain, aka the Orthodox Moor, aka the Seven Pillar Saracen. And to my UK family, y'all know me as Brother Moore. What's good? Big up, family. So yeah, a lot of people are asking me about updates on the debate with Bob the Builder. And so he challenged me to a debate. I made my video accepting. I started emailing him. He emailed me back. We sent a few emails back and forth. I initially thought he wanted to debate two topics. It seemed like he wanted to debate. He mentioned a few topics in his video, so I wasn't quite sure. Like I said in my last video about the matter, I thought that there were tentative topics. I thought he wanted to deal with the authenticity of Quranist Islam as a title, and I thought he wanted to deal with the Quran being intrinsically unjust. However, in our discourse back and forth, it seemed like he wanted to, even though he said he wanted to debate at least a couple of things, it turned out he wanted to debate just one title. I kept suggesting that we debate two titles, and that we both take turns being the affirmative. The affirmative has the burden of proof in the debate. He was interested in challenging me and then making me the affirmative, which I got no issue with. Like I'm an experienced debater. I've debated on multiple platforms. In the past couple of years, I've got over 30 timed and moderated debates, many of which are on my channel. My last debate was on Modern Day Debate. I'm not new to debating and whatnot, right? So I got no issue being the affirmative. But I thought the audience would serve best by having us both take debates where we're the affirmative, where he gets to defend his claims and I get to defend my claims, etc. Whatnot, right? He seemed rather adamant about this concept of wanting to debate a title. Hold on, let me put this joint up on the screen. He seemed like he was real adamant about this title here, about the concept of the Quran alone being tenable. Yeah, here we go. Is the belief in the Quran alone tenable? That's straight from one of the emails. So, after looking at the title, I was like, all right, cool. If like he kept pushing the title in a bunch of emails. All right, if this is all you want to debate, no worries. We can rock with this. Because this is basically talking about the methodology and whatnot, right? No worries. Like, so I was preferring that we do harder debates, because I thought they would be more beneficial to the people. Like I said, like with is Quranism an authentic form of Islam, based upon what he was talking about in his videos or whatnot, historically, etc. whatnot. I thought that would have been a good debate to have for the people. And then on the other hand, I let him know, I was like, hey man, I think this Quran being intrinsically unjust concept is a very interesting topic. I was like, how about you lob all your bombs at me, you know what I'm saying, in the debate, and I just defend all of them, and we make sure we have enough time to go through all of them. I told them that when I talk to Christians, that they typically have 10 to 15 attacks on the Quran that they want to go to and whatnot. So I was like, yeah, that seems like a legitimate concept. Like, if you think that the Quran is unjust, I should be able to prove that the Quran is just, right? And field all your attacks on it right quick, not duck none of them. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to do the easier concept of, is the belief in the Quran alone tenable? I.e., is it defensible? Is it a defensible position? Again, that's just that's a simpler debate just on methodology. Not an issue for me. Very easy to prove. But yeah, I accepted his title. However, I asked him to change the title just a little bit, because I don't ever use the term Quran alone. I use the term Quranist or Quranism. And when Vocab Malone talked to Bob the Builder about me on his panel, let him know that I moderated debates and etc. whatnot, He said that I would describe myself as a Quranist alone. I think he might have confused Bob on how he said that, because me and Vocab have had a couple of conversations about Islam and Quranism and whatnot, and Vocab could not say Quran alone. He couldn't say Quranism. So like I give him props, because that was the first time he was able to say Quranism, but he put them both together. He's just used to the concept of the Quran alone and whatnot, right? So I think Bob the Builder got caught on that topic, or that concept of Quran alone. So I let him know. I was like, hey, I don't use that term Quran alone. I use the term Quranist to Quranism. And so I'm down with your titles if we make it just something along the lines of, is Quranism tenable? Right? Let me put up here like this. And so it shouldn't be an issue, because in the same email that I just showed you that title from, Bob says this: I think, to be fair to you as a Quranist, and that's him spelling with the 2 A's, not me, we debate the Quran itself. Therefore, I suggest the following debate question is belief in the Quran alone tenable? And I let him know in my return email, like, I was like, I don't use that term Quran alone, because in the Islamic world, I'm known as Quraniyun. I'm known as a Quranist and whatnot. And the Muslims make all kind of attacks on me based upon that concept. So I got to feel a lot of attacks and whatnot. And I told him I don't use the term Quran alone, because one of the attacks I do not want to feel is a false one, to where the people will falsely accuse me of rejecting the previous prophets. Because that's something that Quran says you have to do, and it says that the previous prophets were given books and whatnot. So I don't reject that the Jews were given the Torah, and I don't reject that the Christians were given the Injil. So I don't say Quran alone, because I don't think that God only gave the Quran to mankind. So I was telling him, yeah, I'm straight with the concept of is Quranism tenable, or is being a Quranist tenable? Are those defensible positions? So I accepted not doing two topics like he originally said he wanted to do. I accept being the affirmative, even though I'm being challenged. And I accepted his title or whatnot. I have not heard back from Bob in 9 days. Google keeps sending me an email talking about, yeah, he hasn't responded. You want to double check on that? It's been 9 days. So I'm hoping all is well with Bob. I'm hoping that there's no issues going on with him and his people, him and his family. I hope everyone's healthy. But I also hope that he's not running from his challenge. Somebody let me know that it was possible that he found out a bit more of who I am and whatnot from people in the UK, because people in the UK know, a lot of people at the park know who I am. A lot of people at the park know Brother Moore. There's a lot of people who got channels at the park who know Brother Moore. Who Brother Moore builds with behind closed doors and whatnot with, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people at the park that know Brother Moore. So maybe somebody got to him and was like, hey, this won't be such an easy debate, etc. Because I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I'm not an easy debate. Like I said, I got a lot of experience on this, and particularly on this topic. Like, I debate Muslims on this topic, so debating a Christian is not going to be too hard. And I'm not saying that to boast or anything. I'm just saying, like, I'm used to, like, this is a topic I'm used to debating. So particularly, we're just talking about methodology. Like, yo, that's okay. That's a walk in the park. A walk in Hyde Park, so to speak. But I'm hoping that, like I said, I hope everything is okay with Bob. I hope all his people are healthy and happy. I hope there's nothing wrong in his world that's keeping him from addressing the email or understanding that I've accepted his debate. But yeah, the people were wondering what was going on, so I thought I'd update them. Again, I've accepted his debate. I've accepted being the affirmative. I've even offered to have it on a platform where he could be comfortable on it. He said he didn't care, so we're doing it on a debate platform I'm affiliated with. I've offered to negotiate time with him, and mix and match the debate formats, because the debate channel I'm on has a standard format. Bob offered a format. So in that last email I sent him, I offered a marriage form of the formats. Trying to work with them on all sides and whatnot to make everyone comfortable with whatnot. Because I know he's used to street debating on Speaker's Corner, and there's a certain style with that he wanted to implement and whatnot. And I thought it was cool. I'm cool with that because I street debate too. I do street debates and I do formal debates. Not an issue for me. So I offered a marriage between the two formats. So all the conversations seemed to be cool. Other than the fact that he didn't want to call me Moore, use more of my name, even though he said it was a great name the first time he heard it. But yeah, that was the only issue so far. But like I said, if anybody knows Bob and they're listening, I know Bob's not his real name, but yeah, check on him because he might need to be checked on. I saw him premiering videos on his channel, but he wasn't in the chat when he's premiering videos. So I really don't know if he's doing okay. I hope he's doing okay. But yeah, let him. If you talk to him, let him know that the person he challenged to debate, who he's been emailing back and forth, accepted his debate challenge and accepted his title, and trying to work with him on the timing and whatnot. And is even offering to try to get a hold of like Shakira and Leon from Content Over Everything to try to make this a big debate and double stream it on two channels, one in America, one in the UK. But with that, family, I'm going to jump off. Hold on, let me see what the comments are saying. Shout out to my man Ultra Funky in the chat. That's my G right there. Favorite atheist in the game. Oh, I see somebody in the chat. Okay, got you, homie. If you want to debate me on anything, hold on right quick. Just get at me. Let me get my email up on this joint. Yeah, just get at me right quick. You can throw me an email, and we can make it happen, Captain. But bless and big up to all my people in the UK. I was hoping to bring you this debate. I hope we still can because it was going to be fun. I was going to enjoy myself. I know Bob would enjoy himself, and I know the people would enjoy themselves watching this debate. And I think they would have learned a lot. But anyway, hoping it still goes down. With that, family, I hope y'all have a good one. And hold on right quick. This is my G. Hold on. My G. It's my other G, you know what I'm saying? Go check out the G Block. Go check out Ultra Funky name at the G Block. Go check out my homie Bernie Bate, Ask Him More and whatnot. Yeah, have a good one, fam.